Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into 5 super practical tips from Dr. Eric Berg. The goal? To make keto simple and actually effective for burning that stubborn belly fat. You know that feeling when you're looking into keto and it just seems so overwhelming? Or maybe you've tried it, but you've hit that dreaded wall and just stalled out. Well, if that's you, this breakdown is going to give you the essentials you need and fast. So here's what we're going to cover. First, the real goal of keto, and it might surprise you. Then we'll hit those 5 key tips. And finally, we'll wrap up with a mindset shift that honestly changes everything. All right, let's get into it. Okay, before we jump into the tips themselves, we have to talk about the number 1 most important goal of keto. Seriously, once you get this, every other decision you make becomes so much easier. And here it is. The whole point of keto is to get your insulin levels as low as you possibly can. Think of insulin as the gatekeeper to your fat stores. When insulin is high, that gate is locked shut. But when you lower it, you're basically unlocking the gate and telling your body, hey, it's time to start burning our own fat for energy.
All right, let's get into tip number 1. And honestly, this one is going to be a huge relief for anyone who hates the tedious side of dieter.
That's right, stop counting every single carb. Forget about getting bogged down tracking every little gram in an app. Instead, Dr. Berg suggests you focus on carbs that are basically freebies, the ones you don't even need to count. We're talking leafy greens and big salads. Now, the target he gives is at least 7 cups of salad a day. And I know what you're thinking, that's a ton of salad. But here's a great little hack. Use a salad cutter. It chops everything up so fine that it shrinks way down, making it so much easier to get all that goodness in. And here's why this is so important. These freebie carbs aren't just filler. They are absolutely packed with stuff you need for a healthy keto diet. We're talking potassium and magnesium, which are your best friends for avoiding the dreaded keto flu, that awful fatigue, and those nasty leg cramps. Plus, they actually help lower your insulin resistance even more, so they speed up your results. Okay, on to tip number 2. And this one ties right back to our main goal of keeping insulin in check. Turns out, not all protein is created equal on keto.
Yeah, check this out. It's kind of counterintuitive, right? We've been told for years that lean is always better, but on keto, things like whey protein or skinless chicken can actually cause a bigger insulin spike. So the better choice is protein that has its fat naturally included. Think fatty hamburger, salmon, sardines, or yeah, even chicken with the skin still on.
Okay, tip number 3 is where things get really powerful. We're talking about using fat as a tool to unlock intermittent fasting. Because when you put keto and fasting together, that's where the magic really happens for fat loss. So here's how it works. When you're just starting out, you actually want to add more healthy fat to your meals. Avocado, olive oil, you name it. This is going to make you feel super full, which makes it easy to go longer between meals. But then, and this is the critical part, once you're fat adapted and you're just not hungry anymore, you start to reduce the fat you're adding. Why? Because you want your body to switch from burning the fat on your plate to burning the fat on your belly. And this leads to what is probably the most important rule of all. If you are not hungry, do not eat. Seriously, this is the biggest mistake people make. We're so used to eating by the clock. But if you eat when you're not actually hungry, you spike your insulin and slam the brakes on fat burning. You have got to learn to listen to your body.
All right, we're rounding the corner with our last 2 tips. And these are all about making this work for the long haul, making it healthy and, something you can actually stick with.
So as you start fasting and eating less often, you have to be really smart about getting your nutrients in. Dr. Berg calls out a few non-negotiables. B vitamins are huge for energy. You'll get a lot of your electrolytes from all those salads we talked about. And don't be afraid of sea salt. A little extra is crucial to keep you from feeling weak or dizzy. And tip number 5, make this enjoyable. This can't be about deprivation, or you'll never stick with it. Find some great keto-friendly desserts. Have a square of dark chocolate. The whole idea is to build a lifestyle that you actually like, not one that feels like a punishment. Okay, and that brings us to the final core philosophy behind all of this. It's a total mindset shift about how we should even approach weight loss in the first place. And it's this simple idea. You don't lose weight to get healthy, you have to get healthy first to lose the weight. Think about that. When you focus on these principles, getting nutrient-dense foods, driving down that insulin, listening to your body, you're not just dieting, you're building a healthy body from the inside out. And the weight loss? That just becomes the natural side effect. So as we wrap up, think about this. What's the one thing from this list that you can start with today? Just one thing. Are you going to go for more salad? Switch up your protein? Or maybe just try waiting until you're actually hungry to have your next meal? Whatever that first step is for you, if you're ready to fully support your health journey, check out the link in the description. We've put together some resources to help, and you'll even find an exclusive discount in there to help get you started.